On today's Glory Day show, the baseball extravaganza continues as we count down to opening day, bringing you correspondent reports from around the country to get you ready for tomorrow when the 2017 baseball season begins.
Today we'll have reports from Stu Schiffman in Miami, Pete Torgerson in Boston, and Omar Gabi in Chicago.
Does that mean we don't have to talk about the Islanders?
I won't mention it, but I'm sure Stewie will.
I'm sure they will.
Best hour of your sports week is coming up right now.
Inravio.com.
Hello again, everybody. Today is Saturday, April Fool's Day, 2017, and you are watching the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco. My name is Donald Trump, and this is my good friend Hillary Clinton. No. The lovely and talented Anthony Mazzallo and Bonnie Schultz are behind the glass, and you are joining us on the Inravio TV network, where we stream live from Studio C right here in the great state of New York.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing okay. And I woke up this morning and forgot it was April Fool's Day.
Yeah, so did I. Well, so did I.
You know, I kind of was wondering what we might be able to do, and now it's too late.
It is. Oh, well. We'll move on.
Let's
Did you,
not.
I know you said we don't want to talk about the Islanders, but I really
yeah.
feel that we need to. But I asked you if you saw last night's game.
I did not.
And the reason why I ask is not so much about, the Islanders won 2-1, but they're on life support, really. They need to run the table and hope for a lot of other good things to happen, like the other teams ahead of them to lose. But I got a text message from my sister, and she said something to the effect of, is Rick DiPietro trying to be the new Lindsey Nelson?
Yes, I think he
Okay. And I don't know if you saw what he was wearing last night, but this was something that you would never forget if you ever saw it. I was looking to see if I could find it on the internet, but I couldn't.
Well, if you look up Rick DiPietro, if you could Google image Rick DiPietro for us, you will find some of the Lindsey Nelson-esque jackets. Not only his jackets, his ties.
Yeah.
His,
I'm colorblind, but I thought it was a pink tie that he had on. And then my sister said it looked like pink, and then it looked at purple at another time. But his suit looked like an Easter egg. Is what it looked like.
You got to look up Rick DiPietro's suits.
Yeah.
But anyway, but you know what? I really like him.
Yeah.
I really like Rick DiPietro. You know, he seems like
I told you I may have an inside way to him now.
Yes.
Yeah. So
wouldn't that be cool?
I'm gonna work on that. I am gonna work on that.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That's a good tease, right? Okay.
Wouldn't that be cool if we can get him get him here on the show?
Yeah, and have to bring one of his jackets with him, man. But as Dandy Dan used to say, or Dandy Don used to sing in Saturday Night Live on Monday Night Football. Yeah. Turn out the light, the party's over.
He wears like that camouflage thing, and
the Islanders. I don't know, Disco, we were sitting here last Saturday. You were pumped to go to the game. They were 2 points behind Boston. They had a game in hand, and it looked like they were going to propel themselves into the playoffs.
They had just beaten Pittsburgh the night before.
They beat the Rangers early in the week.
They beat the two tough teams.
Yep.
Rangers, Pittsburgh, and setting up that game with Boston, only 2 games behind with still a game in hand. And then there was just no.
Now that game. Well, you went.
I was at that game.
Yeah, and so they lost by a goal, right?
They lost 2-1.
Yeah.
And you know what? They got the first goal.
Yeah.
They got the first goal, and everything. The place was jumping. But you know what? There's no life in that building.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah.
You've gone there, right?
Yep.
I mean, there just doesn't seem to be any life.
Yeah.
maybe there's no electricity. I don't know how to describe it. Well, when you
It's
went
not
to
the
the
kind of energy.
Coliseum,
Well, first of all, people were. I mean, the Coliseum was a great place for a tailgate, and people were always tailgating before the games. And
So everybody was
there's
lubed
nothing
up.
like that in downtown Brooklyn. There really
no,
isn't.
people just get off the train and go in the building.
Yeah. Although both times we've gone, and I went with my brother, my sister, and my brother's fiance. We always went to a place. We've gone to the same place twice now. I forgot the name of it off the top of my head though. Brookliner, I think it was called, or something like that. And it was a nice Italian place. But again, it's not really conducive to the whole fan experience of hanging out and bonding with other fans like a tailgating is.
You get into the arena, and there's just nothing intimate about it. I mean, the Coliseum was a big, ugly,
plus, I mean,
disgusting place.
It's all black in there. I mean, it's all dark. It's a very dark place.
But you notice it doesn't seem to hold the noise well. I mean, maybe it's good for a concert, but there's just no oomph to it.
Well, we said it was not made for hockey. It just wasn't.
Could be, and you know what? They're
Now,
done
was it a good crowd or what? Was
It was a full crowd. It was a full house.
Yeah.
But you know what? 40, maybe even 50% were Boston.
Yeah.
When
when I was
Boston
watching the game,
scored that
I
goal-
thought I heard like a bit of cheering going on when
Oh
Boston
man!
scored.
When Boston scored the goal, half of the stadium was standing.
Yeah. So we thought we could recover. So they're down. They still have that game in hand, and now they're down. I guess four points, right?
The situation is they are down. They're down 4 points to Boston.
Yeah, and then
They both have the same
Monday
amount of games.
had to play Nashville. And Nashville's got a good team, and Nashville took care of the Islanders.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. Like you said, they have to run the table. The problem is they're not playing anybody that's above them.
Yeah.
So
the other problem is, and I know you didn't watch the game last night. At the end of the game, Tavares went off the ice with looked like a very bad hamstring injury.
Did he get? Do you hear anything about it?
No,
morning?
I mean they're going to reevaluate him this morning. Is what they're going to do.
And you know what that means?
Yeah, I know.
He's got a lower body injury.
That's exactly right. But if you saw it, I mean, basically, they had to take him off the. They had to escort him off the ice. He wasn't able to skate off under his own power.
That's like, but Halak looked good last night.
Yeah, he did. He did.
But
I tell you what, the Islanders, they should have won. They won 2-1. They had like 10 power plays, and I think they scored 1 goal. On the power play.
They had 5 power plays against the Bruins. Didn't score. They had a total of 18 shots on goal. Mm-hmm. Okay. In Pittsburgh the night before, they had 21 shots in the third period.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
How does that happen?
Just ridiculous.
But the worst thing was what happened on Thursday against Philadelphia, where you knew it was a must-win game. They were getting Johnny Boychuk back. And I said, boy, oh boy, the Islanders going to steamroll the Flyers, and the Flyers steamrolled the Islanders. They were up 5-0 into the first period. Turn out the lights.
I was out at the Matador with the Sav. We went to a cigar. There was a cigar thing going on for Robert Caldwell Cigars.
Okay.
Right? And we're sitting there watching the game, and we're talking, and watching the game, and talking. And every time I looked up, the score was different.
Yeah.
That's not possible.
Yeah. 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0.
When it got to, because I saw the goalie leaving, I saw Grice leaving, and I said, "Oh my God, what's going on?"
Yeah, and I remember. I think it was the third goal. I'm sitting there watching it, and you see there's a Flyer that's right in front of the goal, and nobody's near him. There's 3 guys behind. The Islanders have 3 guys behind the goal line. And guess what? The puck comes out right to this guy, and boom.
Well,
it's over.
Here's the question.
Yeah.
What does this mean for Doug Weight?
Well, it's a good question because I tell you what. I wanted to make sure that I watched the press conference afterwards, okay? He was not a happy guy, and he called guys out. Now, he said at one point, he talked about guys not covering the wall. He talked about mistakes they made. He says, we got 3 guys, these are veterans, he said, and they're behind the goal line, and the guy on the Flyers is right out in front. And he said Johnny, and I don't know if he was talking about John Tavares or he was talking about Johnny Boychuk, but he mentioned Johnny in his conference and in the press conference.
Well, I think he's talking about Boychuk.
And he also mentioned veterans. He called these guys out. He did.
I think he was talking about Boychuk because he usually calls Tavares JT.
Yeah. Well, then he was talking about Johnny Boychuk then.
Yeah. Well, Boychuk's missed 2 months.
Well, that's right. It was his first game back. It was his first game.
But I'm glad to hear that, because my concern is that they limp into the playoffs. And they make the playoffs, and they retain.
Well, he's an
him
interim
for that
coach,
reason.
so who knows if the coach is going to be next year?
But then again, who's out there? It's
I don't
not
know.
like it's not like there's this guy out there that's going to save us.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think what we need to do is play the Rangers more often.
But the Rangers, I'll tell you, man, and they lost again last night, but they are a great road team, but they can't win at home. They just cannot win at home, right?
So this is good. It's good that they're the wild card. Mm-hmm. They won't have home field advantage, home ice advantage.
Yep.
So I don't know.
So the other thing is that I'm hoping, the Mets, we're doing the baseball extravaganza. The baseball season starts tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Mets opening day is Monday at home.
Monday at home.
And there's a couple of things about that. First of all, I read that Chipper Jones is going to be in the crowd because they're playing the Braves. It's Chipper Jones. He loved Shea Stadium. And I'm sure the Met fans will really embrace him as usual.
The Larry chant was one of my favorite things.
Yep. And the other thing is that I'm hoping that I was going to say Jack Bruce. That was the bass player in Cream, right? Jay Bruce. I'm hoping he has a good year. I was so happy when the Mets traded for him last year.
Sure.
Because I love my jerseys, my football jersey for Isaac Bruce, so it's Bruce on the back. I said I was always thinking about getting the Cincinnati Red Jay Bruce, so just I had a baseball one. But now that he's on the Mets, I said this is perfect.
But this is perfect no matter what happens.
Well,
you don't want to get booed.
Well, exactly right. And when I was so psyched to buy that jersey in August, and he got off to such a bad start, I said the people are going to be throwing stuff at me if I'm wearing that. And I was checking that day, he had a 174 batting average for the first 42 games he was back with the Mets.
Oh, my God.
You
I'm surprised it was that much.
He wound up hitting in the last 8 games. And, you think about it, the Mets just kind of squeaked in there. I mean, he had 480, he had 4 home runs and 8 RBIs in the last 8 games. So I hope he gets off.
He had 30 home runs
when he got traded to the Mets.
He had 35 home runs for the season.
And he knocked in, I think, 99 or 91
so
runs.
He hit 1 home run in the first month and a half.
Yeah.
And then he hit 4 in the last 2 weeks.
That's right.
So I have high hopes for the Mets.
So I am hoping that he gets off
week.
to a good start, but he really needs to because, the fans won't forget last year and how bad he was.
And especially this year, if they got Granderson in center, Cespedes in left, Bruce in right, you're going to have Conforto on the bench.
Yep.
And if you got Conforto on the bench, if Bruce doesn't get off to a good start, that's going to be trouble.
I know, but I really want to buy this Bruce jersey. So please, Jay, get off to a good start, man.
But just think, if he doesn't get off to a good start, or he gets released or traded, think of the discount you'll get on that jersey.
Yeah, I guess so. That's true. Last thing, I know we're getting ready to get out of here, to go to our break. The NCAA's, the Final Four is set. Finally. And with the championship game being on Monday, and it's North Carolina versus Oregon and Gonzaga versus South Carolina. So theoretically, we could have a North Carolina, South Carolina final. Think about that. I don't know how often it's ever happened.
I don't know.
Now, was North Carolina with the Union, or were they Confederates too? I think they were probably below the Mason-Dixon line. They were probably both.
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good geography. We need a history guy.
We should get somebody in the booth to check that out. I don't know.
Well, I do have one question for you guys.
Okay. Let's hear.
So UConn women, they lost last night.
Yes, that was
Yes,
that was a surprise.
Did.
Yeah.
Now, they won 111 straight before that game. Who was the last team to beat them?
Ooh, I would have no idea. Probably the same team that beat them.
Nope, Stanford.
Well,
lost.
that would have been my guess. Because I know Stanford's always got a good team.
Yeah. You win 111
games.
You win 111 games
in overtime
and
at the buzzer by 2
in the tournament. Was it the final?
It was the final.
It was the Final Four.
Oh, so they didn't even get to the final.
No.
Yeah, well, I know my cousin went to UConn. My cousin Kristen. So she's always posting things about that. I'm sure she's very depressed today. Wow. But I mean, they had some run. They really did. I mean, that's 100 and how many games was that?
111 games. That's
unbelievable.
A lot of games.
That's quite a run.
And what do they play? 30 games in a season?
Yeah. Yep.
Right. How many basketball games could they play?
All right.
40 games.
Hey.
What?
Just got the news here that North Carolina was Union, not Confederate. So I guess that was right at the Mason-Dixon line, probably.
Right there, baby.
All right. Wow. Okay, that's great.
All righty. So, shall we move on?
I think we shall.
All right. We're going to take a short break here on the Glory Days show, and we'll fight it out over North Carolina and South Carolina. Does that mean that we're rooting for slaves or not rooting for slaves?
Not slaves, no slaves.
That's a tough one.
I know.
But when we get back, it'll be time to head down to sunny Miami and catch up with Stu Schiffman. And we'll talk about the Miami Marlins as we continue our month-long 2017 baseball extravaganza. Pete Torgerson is on deck and Omar Gabi is in the hole. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Days show with Bruce and Disco only on the Inravio TV network. We're coming right back.
Hey, this is Chris Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Days show with Bruce Disco here on the Inravio TV network. The Miami Marlins had missed the postseason for 12 consecutive years, but when August came around last season, they were still in the hunt for a wild card spot. Then tragedy struck when pitcher Jose Fernandez, one of the best young players in the game, was killed in a boating accident that was later determined to be his fault with cocaine and alcohol in his system. Only 3 teams in all of baseball had a better batting average than the Marlins at .283. And in Don Mattingly's first year, the team finished with 79 wins, their most since 2010. But D. Gordon was hit with an 80-game suspension in the middle of the year for PED use. And the loss of Fernandez was just way too much for such a young team to overcome. So what about 2017? They signed free agent pitchers Edison Valquez from Kansas City and Jeff Locke from Pittsburgh, and their outfield of Christian Yelich, Marcell Ozuna, and Giancarlo Stanton is probably one of the better trios in the league. On our own is a transplanted New Yorker who still bleeds orange and blue for the Mets, but his home team is now Miami. Of course, that is after the Rangers get eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs. Please welcome back to the program our good friend Stu Schiffman. Stewie, how are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing, guys?
All right, man. What's just to make us feel bad? What is the temperature down there right now?
Well, I actually just got off the golf course.
I really ate your guts.
And that's true. I just got off the golf course. I played 9 holes this morning because I had to come in to do this, and it's a brisk, and I say brisk, 78 degrees.
Oh, jeez.
There's a little chill in the air.
So life is good down in South Beach, huh?
Yeah, South Florida it's beautiful. Although the The heat is coming. The heat and humidity is coming. But that's why God created air conditioning.
Yeah. What'd you shoot?
Next subject.
All right.
You know
Well,
what?
I tell you what. We will make
It
you
doesn't
talk
really
as
matter
long as
when
you don't
you
bring
talk.
up the Islanders to us, okay?
Oh, I wasn't going to do that, would I, guys?
Of course not, Stewie. Of course not.
Oh, God. Anyway, just to, let's take care of the Marlin business first.
Yes.
You sort of hit the nail on the head. It's virtually impossible to. It's the equivalent of the Mets in the 60s, the late 60s, trying to overcome the loss of Tom Seaver. That's probably the best analogy that I have, because that's what Jose Fernandez meant to this franchise, not just as a great pitcher, but sort of as a team leader and people that rallied around him. And it was hard for them to draw to begin with, but when this guy pitched, he was lights out in Miami. The guy never lost in Miami. And it's a loss that they're going to really struggle to overcome this year. Edison Volquez, God bless him, but he's not to replace Jose Fernandez, and their starting rotation is really questionable at best. They have a solid, top to bottom lineup though. So they're going to score runs. The question is, will they score enough to keep them in games?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about...
that's going to be a struggle.
I was thinking about exactly what you were saying, like how to compare that to something that could have happened here. And, it's just such an emotional thing. I mean, for those guys to even go out and play that game.
Yeah.
Incredible.
On that Tuesday, was the day after.
They were playing the Mets, too, if I
Yeah,
recall.
remember Bartolo Colon pitched.
Right.
And he gave up a home run to, what's his name, leading off the game.
D. Gordon.
Yeah,
D. Gordon.
Yeah.
Pretty much fresh off his 80-game suspension.
Right.
I mean, listen, they've Stanton has struggled to stay on the field.
Right.
That's a challenge. But their outfield is I mean, if he stays healthy, their outfield of him, Yelich, and Ozuna are as solid an outfield as you're going to get. Yelich is really one of the best kept secrets in the game.
He hit. They signed him. They signed him to a big deal a couple of years ago, and they signed him to a 7-year deal for $50 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's unbelievable for what he's. I mean, last year he almost drove in 100 runs last year. He drove in 98 runs last year. He had 21 home runs.
And
he almost hit 300.
326, did he? Something like that. I mean, he's a solid. He's really just a solid all-around player. And they got a bargain with that with him. Wouldn't shock me if he tried to renegotiate at some point. But listen, my prognostication for them would be, maybe third place. I think they'll come ahead. I think they might come ahead of the Braves and the Phillies. But I can't see them competing with the Mets and the Nats.
Well, you know what? I think the reason why they're doing better, or like you said, they'll definitely be better than the Braves. I think Don Mattingly is a fantastic manager. I think that guy is a great manager.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they also dumped Barry Bonds as a hitting coach. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but who knows? Maybe he supplied D. Gordon for all we know.
Well, you know what? I mean, they dumped him as the hitting coach, but there were only 3 teams that hit better than them in all of baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably because my guess is he didn't want to put the work in.
But there was only one team that hit less home runs than them.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean? So they're making contact, they're putting the ball in play, they're just not hitting. But then again, their park is gigantic.
And again, that's misleading because Stanton was hurt quite a bit.
Yeah, that's true.
And, you put Stanton in that lineup, there's going to be 40 more home runs in there. If he plays a whole year.
When he got hurt, in August, they lost 10 out of 11.
They're an entertaining team. They run the bases well. You're right. Mattingly's a very good manager. He's a very good fundamental manager. I thought he got dumped from the Dodgers for no good reason, to be honest with you. But at the same time, I think he's a solid manager with a solid team. Just not enough pitching.
That kid, your first baseman, that kid Justin Bohr.
Four, yeah.
Oh my
Big-
God, he was.
He's a big papa.
You know what? He got hurt. He only played 90 games. He played like half.
the season.
You know, just
Little
about a
more
little
than half.
more than half.
Yeah.
He still hit 15 home runs.
Yeah.
He drove in 51 runs. You know, that's
he's
like
sort
you
of
said,
our Jay
Stewie, man.
Bruce.
They're going to be
You know, if he's going to hit home runs, but he's going to strike out a lot.
right. They're gonna score a lot of runs. They're going to put a lot of people on base. But like you said,
Comes down to pitching, but it also, as Stewie, as you said, I mean, they're playing in a division with the Mets and the Nationals. So you know, for them to
That's a rough thing to
It is.
overcome.
It
But
is.
you know, one of the unsung heroes who, you know, the guy's been around for 100 years, but I'd love him. I would have loved him on the Mets last year. Is Martin Prado, who plays
Yeah.
third base for them. He's just a professional hitter. He makes contact. He goes to all fields. He's a decent fielder. He's not the greatest fielder, but he can play multiple positions. He's one of those guys that's one of those guys you just love to have on your team, and he performs. So you know, and Hecheverria, who's their shortstop, they got some good players on this team. They're really not they're a good team. But again, it comes down to that starting rotation, and you know, Volquez to me is a nice, you know, maybe 2 or 3 starter. You know, if Volquez was on the Mets, he'd be their 4th or 5th starter right now.
hey, you know, I know it's a pretty fun ballpark to go to.
Oh, it's great.
You know who goes to there? Goes there a lot. Goes there at least twice a year. Roy Edelsack.
Roy Edelsack, the
Yeah.
Memorial
Mr.
Football
Roy and his son
he was down
go
at the
there.
World Baseball
He
Classic.
was there for the
right?
World Baseball Classic. Yeah.
Oh, really? Was he one of the Dominicans rooting for that? I thought I recognized him with the Dominican flag.
Hey, we got just a few minutes left. You want to talk about the Rangers or the Mets?
Let's talk about the Rangers.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, that's it. I'm sorry, we're out of time. No. Tell me why they can't beat the Islanders. What is it why they can't beat the
It's
Islanders?
the equivalent of when the Islanders struggled against the Rangers. You know, because the Islanders get up for that game, you know, because it's their sort of Stanley Cup
Right.
game, and when they were playing against the Rangers recently, the Islanders were playing, you know, hard, trying to get into the playoffs. You know, they had a lot more to play for.
Right.
And no excuses. They outplayed them. They out-hustled them. They outworked them. It just reminds me of when the Islanders had those great teams, and the Rangers just always, you know, played them just like it was their last game on earth.
Yeah.
Do you think the Rangers are set up for a long run in the playoffs this year?
No.
Based
I
on
don't.
well, you know what, where they are in the first wild card means that
Right.
they won't
It's-
have to play.
It's actually a good spot to
Right.
be.
Right. So I think they'll be okay.
You know,
There's a lot of good teams that are out there. I'll tell you. I think Columbus has got a good team.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I listen.
Toronto
to me,
is good, too.
To me, it's still Pittsburgh and Washington, and because I just think they have so much depth and their goaltending is solid. I just can't see them getting past one of those two teams. And quite frankly, Columbus, you're right, is if they get the goaltending they've been getting this year, they could be a real sleeper coming out of there. But I listen. I love the Rangers. You know, I love the Rangers. And listen. If you look on Facebook, you'll see my granddaughter's already 10 months old, and she's already got her first Lundqvist jersey on. And she's a solid Ranger fan already. We taught her how to go hey 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 when they score a goal. So
What does she call you? Are you a Pops or a Gramps or a...
I'm Poppy Stew.
Poppy Stew. Okay.
Poppy Stew. So yeah, it's great to be a grandfather, and I wish I could see her. We FaceTime every day, quite a few times. I get up there every so often. I'm going to be up there in April, you know, to see her for a little bit.
Excellent.
But it's great to be. It sucks getting old, but it's great to be a grandfather.
All righty, man. Hey, Stu, thanks for taking the
Great
time.
talking
We
to you,
appreciate it.
Stewie.
Head back
My
out
pleasure.
and
I
do
love
better
doing
on the
this,
back
guys.
nine.
Anytime. And let's go Mets this year.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah, we'll be talking about the Mets next week.
Looking forward to it, buddies.
All right,
Take
Stu,
care.
thanks
Be
a
Enjoy
lot.
it,
well.
Stu. Thanks.
Regards to the families.
Yeah.
Thanks, Stu. You too.
You too, man.
Oh, it's very cool.
I love talking to Stu. All right. Let's take another break here on the Glory Day Show. When we get back, we'll head up north to Boston and the AL East champion Boston Red Sox with Pete Torgerson. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco, only on the Inravio TV network. We are coming right back.
What's up, guys? We're Scared No Fair, and we're here with Inravio. If they catch you at a show with one of these bracelets, you will win $100.
That's a lot of money.
So get a bracelet.
Do whatever it takes to get that. Hit them up online.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
This is Joe Larson. You should check out the 505 on Racing Show live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or catch us on video on demand anytime, 24/7, only on the Inravio TV network.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco here on the Inravio TV network. In the early evening of February 5th, our next guest was already lamenting his Boston loyalty as his Patriots were about to lose the Super Bowl to Atlanta. His beloved Bruins had lost 6 of their last 9 and were in danger of missing the playoffs for a third straight year. In just 2 more days, Coach Claude Julien would be fired. I wonder if he was starting to think about the Boston Red Sox baseball season. Just 2 months later, the Patriots are Super Bowl champs. Tom Brady has his jersey back, okay? The Bruins are in the wild card spot and just 6 games away from getting back to the Stanley Cup playoffs. And baseball's just around the corner. The Red Sox finished first in the American League East with 93 wins last year, and they led the league in quite a few offensive categories. Team batting average, runs scored, runs batted in, on-base percentage, and total bases, just to name a few. So what happened? Well, they did get swept by 3 straight by the Cleveland Indians in the AL Division Series. That's what happened, right?
I guess.
I think it is. You wrote it, okay. In the offseason, they got another all-star pitcher, practically stealing Chris Sale from the Chicago White Sox for 4 minor league players. Sale joins Rick Porcello, who was 22-4 and won the AL Cy Young last year, and David Price, who won the Cy Young with Toronto in 2012. He won 17 games last year. Please welcome back to the program a man who have been investigated during the search for the Tom Brady lost jersey, the lovable Pete Torgerson. Pete, you out there?
What's happening, boys?
Hey, man, how are you?
So were you the WikiLeaks guy who helped them find his jersey?
Oh, yeah, I was on it. I was on that. I knew, I spotted that guy on the videos. I knew it was him.
Now, is that...
How about Tom Brady got his $14 million bonus, the second half of his signing bonus yesterday? So.
Oh, for what?
He might be out shopping.
Just for still being alive?
Yep. He signed a $28 million signing bonus. He got 14 when he signed, and he got the other 14 yesterday. So have a nice weekend,
so it was
Tommy.
Deferred money, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder who his accountant is. I don't know. He probably has a pretty good one, I would think, right?
Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
There we go.
How you been, Pete?
Good. What's happening? The Islanders season ended last week. So
Yeah.
Tavares
I think
got
it
hurt,
ended.
so-
I think it ended in the first period Thursday. They
Yeah.
gave up those 5 goals to the Flyers. That's when I said, "That's it. They're done." I mean, you know, granted, theoretically, if they run the table in the last 6 games, but the difference is they don't have anybody. They're not playing anybody above them anymore.
Right.
So,
Right.
or anybody that they need to be playing. The
Watch
the
out
two
for the
teams.
Hurricanes.
Yeah, the Hurricanes, they're coming on pretty strong.
Yeah.
I mean, the 2 games they should have lost were the Rangers and the Penguins, and the 2 games that they should have won was the Boston game and the Philadelphia game.
Yeah.
So,
Nashville looks pretty good, though, too. Nashville looks good. What do you think about Edmonton there, Pete?
They're in Fuego.
Yeah, they got a pretty good team, man.
You know what else I like out there is Calgary.
Yeah. There's really a bunch of good teams right now. You know, we were talking to
Yep.
Stewie about the Rangers, and I think he's right. The Rangers aren't going to go too far. I mean, I was talking about Columbus, and I think Toronto has got a pretty good team too. But you know, he talked about
the
Washington
playoff-
and Pittsburgh really being the teams, and he's probably right about that too.
The playoffs are going to be awesome this year. Don't
Yeah, I'm
forget,
looking
St.
forward
Louis is what 11-1-1 in their last 13. So
Yeah.
right, last year, didn't we have weren't the there were only 2 of the original 6 teams in the playoffs last year, right? I think the Rangers and Detroit. This year, Detroit, first time since 1993.
That's pretty amazing.
I was 33 years old the last time they missed the playoffs.
So, Pete, are you thinking about baseball yet, or are you still thinking about hockey?
well, I don't want to rub it in, guys, but how can I not be thinking about baseball?
Well,
Yeah,
like I
all we have
said,
to do is
Thursday
put-
night, my brain turned towards baseball.
That's a common occurrence for you guys, though. I'm sorry.
Rub it in there,
All right,
Pete.
so let's talk about how the Red Sox, who led the league in almost every offensive category, go to Cleveland
Then get their heads handed
get their
to 'em.
heads handed. What happened, Petey?
Theo Epstein, Tito Francona.
Yeah.
I was rooting for him. He deserved that. That was his payback for the way they treated him, and I was happy about that. But this year it's going to be a different story. The only question I have is the bullpen, and and then you have your 5th starter right now is Stephen Wright. You know, great comedian, but I don't know if he can throw the knuckleball. And the big surprise this is the 220-pound panda, Pablo Sandoval. Oh my God, he looks like a different man. Or he's
Does
half
he?
the man he used to be.
Right, he was tipping 290, wasn't he? Or 280?
290. He tried 380. He was a house. And then John Henry gets on. Mr. Mathematician says, "Oh, he has a 0.3 body fat." I'm like, "Holy Christ!"
0.3. What's he?
0.3.
11 feet tall?
Right. I guess I'm anorexic then.
So the season starts on Monday there, Pete. Pirates at Red Sox. Are you going to the game?
I am not.
You are
no,
not?
I'm not. No, it's. I'm a summer baseball guy.
Yeah. It's a little.
I got over.
It's only
I got
40
over the
degrees
event.
here. I'm sure it's probably about the same up in the Boston area.
Yep.
What's
So,
the forecast
but
for
the-
Monday?
but-
I know it's going to be 55 down here, probably the same too, I guess. Not really great
Yeah.
baseball weather, but it's not 40 degrees either, you know.
Yeah, Monday's fine. Tuesday it's cold, but it's Frozen 4 hockey week, so
Yeah.
off
There
to
you go.
Chicago for that.
Hey, do you know when the last time the Boston Red Sox won consecutive first place?
Off the top of my head, no.
1915 and 1916.
You remember that, Pete?
Oh yeah, I
Like it
was
was
a junior in
yesterday.
high school.
That's 100 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah.
But you know, another thing is, you know, the Red Sox don't finish first often, but in the last 6 years, they've either finished first or finished last.
Yeah.
It's been very unusual with you guys, man. It's either all or nothing. How
Right.
do they swing like that?
Yeah, well, I think this is an all year. I'm really confident in this team. You got the 3 Bs in the outfield, Betts, Bradley, and Benintendi.
Mm-hmm.
So they just got a nice team. You got your boy Hanley Ramirez. He's going to help out a lot this year. He looks great.
That guy
I'm
hit
excited.
30 home runs. He drove in
Yeah.
111 runs last year. 111
Yeah.
runs. And he played
had
first
he had
base, played a position never played before.
Right. And everybody was worried about him. Oh, he's going to be mad. He said, so he'll be the new Big Papi. I think he's going to be the DH for the most part.
Big Papi, he had
That
some
way-
year too, right? Jeez,
God.
318, 48 doubles, 127 RBIs.
127 runs, but he hit 318. That was unbelievable.
I know. And then, imagine that if they had what they're talking about, making the rules no more shifts on players.
Oh my God! You know,
Some of the balls he hit.
before we get to the pitching, they also picked up that guy from Texas, Mitch Moreland. He was a Gold Glover at first base, so I don't know how that's going to work with. I guess between him and Ramirez, they'll swap back and forth between DH and first base.
I think Moreland will be the everyday first baseman, and Hanley will be the DH.
Yeah. So let's talk about Chris Sale. They give up.
How about that?
They give up 4 minor leaguers.
for that.
One of them is was their top prospect, an infielder,
Right.
Yoan Moncada. But I mean, that's kind of like what the Mets had to do in order to get Cespedes.
Yeah, Fulmer. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They gave up their top pitching prospect, Fulmer, who of course just missed. Oh no, he was Rookie of the Year
Yes,
last
he
year.
was.
You know, but you know what? That gives them 3 really good starters.
You know what? The one guy I don't like on the team is Price.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about him, Pete, and I kind of felt that you were going to tell me you didn't like him.
What don't you like about him? You just don't think
He
he's.
just he's got no mojo. He's got more excuses than an encyclopedia. He's not a Boston guy. He's a pretty boy. He just doesn't fit in here.
Do you think that's why he doesn't?
I hope he
success
proves
in
me
the-
wrong. I hope he wins 20 games, but
But you know, his thing is that they say he doesn't have the makeup to win in the postseason.
Makeup. How about Quinones? Can you say that word on the air?
You know, Sandy Alderson was talking about that recently. He said there are teams that are built to win in the regular season, and they just can't win
In the postseason.
In the postseason. You know, and
Right.
I think Price might just be one of those guys. One of those guys that he does very well in the regular season, and then come the postseason, he's just, you know.
Well, that's the
look
same
at,
knock on
what's his name?
Kershaw.
Kershaw.
Yep.
And who knows? Maybe
Yep.
now we talk about what's his name, the Mets relief pitcher,
Familia?
Familia.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not a postseason pitcher either. I mean, by the way, Pete, here's a record that I don't think will ever be broken. He blew 3 saves in the World Series.
Yeah.
I would think that if you blew 3 saves in the World Series, you wouldn't get a chance on the 4th one.
How about 2? You didn't get a chance on the 3rd.
Yeah. Oh my God! I know that 2 of them weren't really his fault, but you know. But anyway,
But Price
You know,
is he's
Joe-
also injured, so he's going to start on a DL, or is he just going to miss a couple of games? What's the deal with him?
He started the season on the DL, and they don't know when he's coming back. So
So at least you won't have to be harassing him, at least to begin with, there, Pete. You know, so just when he gets on the field, you know. Probably about
Yeah,
the time the weather starts getting nice, where now you're into baseball mode, you know.
you know me, I'm a half a baseball fan until the playoffs, hockey playoffs
Yep.
are over. Then
Well, I mean, that's going to go till June, right? I mean, that's what it usually
Right.
goes. Yeah.
yeah. So by the time looking at that American League East again, they have some really good teams. Toronto's going to be good again.
The Yankees, I think the Yankees have a good team, too.
I think the Yankees are going to do better than people give them credit for, as much as I hate to say that. So I think it's going to be tough for them to come back and win the division again. But how many you think they're going to win 95 games this year? I mean, last year they won 93.
absolutely, I'll take 93 and over.
Ooh, okay. As long as they don't have to play Cleveland, or do you think they owe Cleveland a beating?
Cleveland had their chance last year,
Yeah.
so
Well, listen, I saw not one but 2 people in the New York papers this week. You know, they put out their predictions and stuff. 2 people said 1986 reunion, Boston and the Mets for the World Series.
Oh, I didn't see that. I've seen Boston in quite a few predictions. You know,
people don't believe in
saying the World Series.
People just don't believe in Cleveland. And after the break, we're going to talk about Chicago. And some people think
it's the whole hangover.
Chicago's going to have a hangover this year, and they're just not going to be as hungry and as lucky, so to speak. Because let's face it, other than Kyle Schwarber getting hurt in the third game of the season last year, they didn't really have a lot of injuries, Chicago, last year, you know.
And they got a very good team, though.
And they got a good team, but we'll see. All righty, Pete.
Yeah, well, don't forget the Dodgers and the Giants out west, too. Giants pitching staff's loaded.
Yeah, well, they're not. They think that think that Chicago wins their division, but that they don't get out of the first round.
We shall see.
We shall see. Okay, Petey.
Well, looking forward to the Stanley Cup starting, Pete, and getting your insight because you follow. I know you follow that sport, very, very closely.
Hey, when you coming back to the New York area?
Actually, my daughter's team plays at Hofstra.
Oh, really?
In a couple of Fridays. Yeah, but she's redshirting this year. She's on the injured list. She's on the DL. So, but I'll be down.
All right, cool.
When you're down, let us know. We'd like to see you. We haven't seen you in a long time.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, man. Very good, Pete.
Guys.
Thanks for the call in.
All right, thanks, man. That's our good pal, Pete Torgerson. And that's like the first really good team we've talked about so far.
Yeah.
On the Baseball Extravaganza.
What the Cubs next. They're a good team, too.
All right, speaking of the Cubs, we're going to take another break here on the Glory Day Show. And when we get back, we're going to head to the Windy City and Omar Garby to talk about those world champion Chicago Cubs. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco only on the Inravio TV network. We're coming right back.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE, your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Rich Weller. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you get punched in the But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco here on the Inravio TV network. On Wednesday night, November 2nd, The Chicago Cubs ended the longest drought in professional sports as they completed a thrilling comeback, trailing the Cleveland Indians 3-1 to win the World Series for the first time in 108 years. With a comfortable 6-3 lead in the bottom of the 8th inning, Cubs manager Joe Maddon took out starter John Lackey after he got the first 2 outs and then surrendered a single. In came the former and current Yankee reliever Aroldis Chapman, who proceeded to give up a double to make it 6-4 and then a game-tying 2-run homer to a guy who had hit just 55 home runs in an 11-year career. It was the immortal Rajay Davis.
I remember him.
But this story had a happy ending as the Cubbies scored twice in the 10th inning following a 17-minute rain delay. During the rain delay, outfielder Jason Hayward crawled the team into the weight room behind the Cubs dugout and gave a Newt Rockne type speech telling them, "We're the best team in baseball for a reason. Stick together and we're going to win this thing." First baseman Anthony Rizzo said that was the most important rain delay in team history. And general manager Theo Epstein felt that the team doesn't come back and win that game without that speech. On our phone is a man who, like millions of other long-suffering Cub fans, still has a smile on his face as the Cubs begin their first season since 1908 as the defending World Series champions. Even the unthinkable loss by Hillary Clinton just a few days later couldn't dampen his spirits. Please welcome back to the program, Omar Gabi. Omar, how are you? Omar?
Where'd he go?
Did we lose him?
I don't think he liked that comment. Last comment you made about Trump winning the election. You know.
Where is he?
Is he there?
Am I not hearing him? Oh, we're going to try and see what happened. We don't know what happened to Omar.
I think you offended
you know
him,
what?
my friend.
No. You know what? We had spoken last time. Remember, we spoke after the Cubs had won the World Series, and I remember him saying that he actually attended the parade with his son. They had 5 million people. 5 million people.
That's a lot of people, man.
At a parade. So,
I think that's more than came to the Donald Trump inauguration. I don't know, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It could be false news,
So hopefully we can get Omar back. But let's talk about the Cubs for a little while.
They look like a loaded team. They really do. And as you said, besides Carl Schwarber, who got hurt third game of the season, he did play in the World Series, though.
Yeah, you know what? Not only did he play in the World Series,
he tore it up.
He hit .412.
Yep.
He was 7 for 17 in the World Series. So they get him back. But you know what? Cubs general manager
Theo
Epstein did the exact opposite of Sandy Alderson. When he built the Cubs.
Yep.
He built the Cubs on position players.
Yeah. And but tell you what, and then you throw Joe Maddon to the mix, who basically moves these players around all the time. That nobody's got a set position on a team, really. I shouldn't say nobody, but there's about 3 or 4 guys that kind of move around.
We had talked about Joe Maddon as a great players manager, but you know what? A manager at the major league level. I mean, how many times do they have to make decisions about bunting or, changing pitchers? I mean, that's the biggest thing they have to do. So what he's got to do is learn how to keep the players fresh.
Exactly right.
And learn how to do that thing. And that's how they, keep getting, production and performance out of these guys.
He keeps it loose. He keeps it interesting. Yeah, he does a lot of crazy things with these guys, right?
Right. But then again, let's talk about their pitching for a second. You know what I mean? They talk about their thing. But, man, their pitching was fantastic.
Yeah. And it was none of these I shouldn't say none of the marquee guys. John Lester is, I guess,
they had all 5 of their starters had at least 11 wins.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
But, I mean, they got like a murderer's row of a lineup base, too. I mean, it's what it is.
But they're, Lester.
Yeah.
Lester was 19.
Jake Arrieta you got too, right?
Lester was 19-5. Kyle Hendricks was 16-8, and they finished 2-3 in the Cy Young Award.
Yep.
And Arrieta was 18-8. And like you said, they even had Lackey.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So you look at this team and you say, where is there a weakness? You know what? And the only thing that could possibly be perceived a weakness is 2 things that you can't you can't predict.
One is injuries.
Injuries.
Yeah.
And mental attitude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Teams that.
But the attitude, I don't think they had to worry about. Not with John Madden, being in the lead there, or Joe Madden.
Joe Madden.
Yeah.
Well, you would hope that. But the teams that, all right, when you look at teams like the Yankees.
Yeah.
Or the Cardinals, okay? You look at teams that
traditionally
win. They win all the time. They may not obviously win every World Series, but they're always good. They're always playing for something. It's very rare that they don't make the playoffs. The Detroit Red Wings are a good
example.
The Montreal Canadiens, things like that. But teams that don't win a lot, and the Mets are in that category. The Cubs are in that category. Even the Red Sox are in that category, okay? The teams that don't win that much, when they do win, I think they don't know what to do with it. I think that they don't know. They don't know, not that they don't know, those other teams know what it takes to get there every year.
Yeah.
The Mets say, oh my God, look at how much hard work. When the Islanders won their 4th straight Stanley Cup, right? The Edmonton Oilers said they passed by the Islander locker room and expected to see them going wild and losing the miles. He says instead, they were exhausted. They were just sitting like this and like, oh my God. He says, and they realized what it took to win.
It's always about hard work, my friend.
Right. And you know what? And I'm not saying that the Cubs didn't work hard to win that World Series. They did. Anybody that wins a World Series, you're working hard, especially they came back from 3 games to 1. But now they got to do it again.
Yeah.
And you got to do it again. And look at what we were just talking about with the Red Sox, how, in the last 6 years, they've won 2 championships and finished last 4 times.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
That's just crazy. So,
now that Hayward, that was interesting. I mean, like I say, he did that Newt Rockne speech, but he didn't have a very good year last year.
No, and he left them.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He's not even there this year. And the Yankees, who just continue to amaze me. So they trade them, Aroldis Chapman, and then they get him back as a free agent.
Yeah.
So how does that happen? Oh, wait, I got a tweet from, he says, Omar says he's on hold with dead air.
Oh.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. We are running out of time anyway. Are we running out of time?
We got 2 minutes.
We are running out of time. You know what? So I'm sorry, Omar. I don't know what happened. We'll try and figure it out. Maybe we'll get him on next week for a few minutes.
I think that would be fair.
To just say hello.
We talk about the Mets and the Yankees next week is what we'll do?
Yeah, that's what we'd like to do
next week. We saved the best for last,
We'd like to do next week. Maybe we'll bring some experts with us.
That would be great.
We'll bring some experts with us. We'll talk about the Mets and the Yankees next week. And we're also going to have a couple of other guys on next week.
Are you going to clue me in on this or what? You probably did already.
No, when I read it.
Okay, all right.
But we'll, I'm sorry, Omar, again, technical glitches. We don't know what happened. And I'm sure, you were the guy we wanted to talk to because you are the champion.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time on the Marlins and the
like I said, I think we need to.
So we need to get a true champion on the show to make us. Pete was the closest we had, right?
The Yankees. Okay.
No, the Yankees aren't champions anymore. The Yankees are not champions anymore. So you could take that 27, put it in your pocket for next year. Thanks to our producers, Anthony Mazzalo and Bonnie Schultz, for all their hard work and for making us
Well, maybe not
so
thanks to all of them. Maybe just
not.
to Bonnie.
Just thanks to Bonnie Schultz.
There we go.
For all her hard work and making Anthony Mazzalo look good out there.
Yeah. Thanks to Stu Schiffman, Pete Torgerson, and Omar. We don't know what happened with you. Sorry about that. For helping us out today as we continue with our baseball extravaganza. Next week, here we go. We'll talk to our good friend Jerry Schwartzman about that other team in Chicago, the White Sox, and Chris Williams out on the left coast as we talk about the Oakland A's. And of course, next week we'll bring you a Mets and the Yankees preview as well. Baseball season will be underway by then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Chuck and Bonnie. putting up with this nonsense week after week and allowing us to bring you this type of quality programming. And of course, thanks to you, our loyal viewers. And don't forget, you can check out the Glory Days on-demand page on www.inravio.com. You can watch any of our past shows or any of the other great shows on the Inravio TV network. Baseball begins Sunday afternoon with the Yankees in Tampa Bay. What is that? That's the 1 o'clock game. There's also 2 more games. San Francisco, Arizona at 4, and the Cubs and St. Louis at 8:35.
Yep.
And the Mets, Monday Met home opener with Noah Syndergaard on the mound. That should be pretty good.
I'm looking forward to that.
I think they're a 90-win team.
You think so?
Well, we're going to make our predictions next week. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. See you next time.